Welcome to Civitai.com, the home of the generative AI art community. If you enjoy this video, please consider hitting us with a like and subscribing, as it'll go a long way in helping us continue to bring you the highest quality AI community content. Please enjoy the video. Today I am joined by, one second, let me actually put our names on so people know who you are. Today we are joined by my good friend, Machine Delusions, aka Phil. And if you do not know who this man is from previous streams, or you have not been around the AI space very long, Phil, go ahead and tell the people who you are and what you do, even though I know that that is a constantly evolving thing every time we talk.
I'm still trying to figure out who I am, and I don't really know what I do. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, my name is Phil, Machine Delusions. Thank you for the intro, Tyler, as always. Been in the AI space now for 3 years. Many of you have seen either my art, used my models on Civitai, my LoRa's, and now diving into more of the coding side of things, building nodes. I work professionally in the space for an AI company here in beautiful San Francisco. It's a super sunny day today. And yeah, love making the art, love the tech. I feel like that's why we're all here. The birth of beautiful things.
The birth of beautiful things that are seemingly becoming more and more beautiful in all kinds of different and crazy ways. So today, guys, I know a couple months ago, we brought Phil on, and Phil showed us a grouping of these 3 kind of like VFX nodes that he had created and that he was starting to code in ComfyUI for Animate Diff. And at that time, it was literally just 3 nodes, I think you showed us. And it was literally to do just like these various like glitch effects or pixel effects or ASCII effects on the video. And the place you have taken it now is absolutely wild. And I think most people don't understand how much utility you have put into ComfyUI now through your nodes in like all these little places and nooks and crannies that I feel like people know they want these things, but they didn't know they need these things. So why don't you give us a little overview of what you've been up to with this node pack, and then we'll go ahead and jump into your screen.
Sure, yeah. You know, like, it's no secret Comfy has a lot of talented people behind it at this point, like very big flourishing ecosystem, open source, lots of people making a lot of cool things. And so like when I got into coding, a lot of the things that maybe you should have like started to build, like they already existed in this ecosystem. And I was like, damn, okay, what kind of things like do I actually need? And myself being like a power user of Comfy, a lot of those questions were actually quite simple, but I maybe didn't have the skills at the time to execute on them. And so like when I'm making my nodes, a lot of the times I run into issues where it might take me 6 or 7 nodes to do like one simple thing. And in my opinion, that's just like not acceptable, especially if that thing like is seemingly simple. It should just be a single node to do it. So a lot of the nodes are utilitarian in that sense, where it takes complicated processes and just kind of condenses them down into a single process, basically, where you would have had to use like 5, now you use 1. Some of them are like training nodes and VFX nodes. So like I've dove into K samplers, specific K samplers to do specific. Some of them utilize API calls, exploring more of like the machine learning side of things, bouncing models precision down, making things faster, more efficient. And then finally just messing around with the like the GUI, the UI itself, because I feel like that is a very untapped side of this whole tool that everybody kind of wants, you know, like there's some very simple functionality that has gone overlooked. I know a lot of people in the space, like developers specifically, they stick to their language, and then That's it. And usually it's Python, and Python doesn't have anything for front end, basically, like very primitive stuff. Um, and so like I'm trying to bridge that gap as well, trying to like build some interesting UIs for my nodes, to make them more approachable.
Awesome. And before we start diving into this, I want everyone watching to understand that Phil is super intelligent. And even I know it's hard for all of us to say, sometimes all of us to say like, hey, I'm smart. I think, to me, Phil is super intelligent because I've watched this man grab things that he's interested in and just run through every brick wall with it. And he is not like, I can't say he's not, because now he is, but he wasn't a coder or a developer, and he's done all of this just through the sheer like desire to do so, persistence, and kind of cultivating this skill of communicating effectively with LLMs. But most of it is his desire and his persistence to make this stuff happen. And then he finds the avenues to do so, even with no formal education or background in any of it. I think that's something really important to keep in mind as we look at this really, really cool stuff that he's doing, that he's going to show us, that everyone who is using ComfyUI can go download in their ComfyUI manager right now. If they type in what? FILL?
Yeah, Fill nodes, FILL. Like just Fill should be good enough, but Fill nodes basically.
Cool. Well, on that note, let's pull up your screen here. Boom.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. And let's talk about it.
So this is just a fraction of my nodes. I didn't want to go into all of them because there's quite simply just too many of them. If I expand this out here and shrink this down, these are all of my nodes, and they range from, like I said, utilitarian, VFX, and otherwise. And so like this whole list here is all the nodes I've been developing over the past about 6 months. And Tyler, you actually brought up a good point, and I want to make it clear to everyone too. This stuff is accessible to everybody, not just the nodes specifically. The ability to do this, it will take some time. You will get frustrated. There are some learning curves to be overcome, but I do believe, and it is true, that anyone can start to become a developer and dabble in it with zero formal education. Just start asking questions to LLMs. If something doesn't seem clear, just get it to break it down. Don't go into it starting to build like the most complicated thing. And then on top of that, we also have, at this point, thousands of custom nodes that you can use as examples, or as a starting base for a project that you want to build. And so that's how I kind of got into this, developing some more complicated stuff at this point. But at the beginning, it was very much like I'm a monkey see, monkey do kind of a vibe. But here are some of the nodes that I've been developing over the past, I don't know, probably like month and a bit. And I mean, I guess let's just jump right into it.
And
So
Phil, just to confirm, because I saw it asked in the chat, all the nodes that you're going to show us today are currently pushed out publicly, right?
correct, yeah. And so like let's just go through that really quick. We'll go to the manager, and we'll go to custom nodes, and then we'll type fill nodes, and there I am right now. So you can see them right there. The README on my GitHub, for people who actually look through that stuff, it's not up to date. There is a lot of information there, but a lot of these nodes I'm about to show you, I've been kind of like in the mode, so the README is not up to date. But yeah, it's just right here, and you can install it and start playing around. And in the menu, you can look for the orange flower. That's like my symbol, and then everything is nicely categorized. And there's lots. I highly recommend digging through. There's probably something that you'll find useful. All right. I guess let's start with like the most boring nodes first because everybody loves that. These nodes are quite simply just PDF manipulation nodes. And we have a PDF loader, we have a bulk PDF loader for kind of like batching PDF files, PDF to image. Let's I don't even know if I have a PDF handy here. But I mean, I feel like these are pretty self-explanatory. This one takes the PDF and extracts it to text. So any text within your image will display here, and it's surprisingly accurate. This one strips the PDF into pictures themselves, and so like it turns the whole page into a picture. And then we have image PDF extractor, which extracts the pictures that are inside of a PDF into specific like standalone images. Then we have a PDF saver and images to PDF. So if you want to compile a batch of images into a PDF, that would kind of go into the saver just like that. And then of course like a PDF merger. So let's say you had images, the image would turn into, actually we can just make a PDF right here. I just realized that. And so like let's just like make a PDF with some random
And
art.
give someone like a use case of what they would want to use the PDF grouping nodes for,
This one?
or just any of these.
Why you would want to use any of the PDF nodes?
Yeah, like why would they want to load a PDF? Why would they want to convert stuff into a PDF?
Well, I mean, because I do this stuff professionally, like there's just a lot of things, like Comfy is scriptable and it does a lot of things other than just like generate pictures, right? And I felt like PDFs were kind of like lacking in their utility, so I built all these. But for example, ChatGPT handles PDFs. Any LLM really, like any big LLM will accept a PDF. And so sometimes that's like the most efficient way to just get information into the LLM is like I have a whole book as a PDF and you just hand it to GPT, right? And so sometimes you want to be able to like manipulate that PDF, or sometimes you want to create a PDF. And so yeah, I built all these kind of for like that purpose, also a self-serving purpose, but I feel like the tooling here is robust enough that you really can do whatever you want. And so I'm just gonna like grab a random directory. Let's just grab this and we'll put it into the PDF saver. We'll just put a string on it to show what's up. I'm gonna mute all these nodes, mute all of my nonsense down here. We're going to batch the images, batch, not latents, batch images, boom, boom. And we're going to feed that into the images to PDF. And A4 should be good. Let's hit it. And so it's going to do the thing, 300 DPI. And you can see here, it's saved to that directory that we just saved. So here's the PDF right here. And if we open that up, you can see it's a PDF with the two pictures.
Sick.
Right. And then we can also split that. And so like where's my other tooling? Let's see. So PDF to images. And so that what this will do is it will turn the PDF pages into specific pictures, not extract the pictures, just turn the pages into pictures. And so if I hit that, a directory not found, where's, oh, I see. So it does the thing, and then it extracts them into individual pictures. So you saw a moment ago, the images are floating on the page, and then I ran it into PDF to images, and it extracts the PDFs into individual pictures, the pages. But that's kind of like the more utilitarian side of things that I was kind of describing. Still extremely useful. I know a lot of people in here do a lot more with Comfy than just generate pictures. So I kind of wanted to touch on that, and I built those quite recently. I think I built them like a couple nights ago, actually. What
Sick.
else?
There's a question on the screen right there for you.
Could be used with LoRa's. In what regard?
So probably in could you use this for captioning or for helping with your data sets?
Yeah, I actually have another node in my tool belt for that as well. PDF image caption layout. And so what this does is let me go get a data set real quick. Let's do the coins. Yeah. Okay, so I'll take this and I'll put it here. And then images per row, yeah, 6 is fine. Output directory, we'll put it in the same directory. And then we'll just paste that like this. Actually, I don't know if this one works fully as I think it will.
Only one way to find out.
Sometimes ideas are half baked. Yeah, see, like the image output I actually didn't even code yet, but if we do go back to that directory, there should be a PDF in here. And so what this does is it lays out all my images, and you can see my caption text files under each image. And so yeah, again, super utilitarian, just for me to like, instead of digging through a data set and being like, how is this caption? Like, what is this data set? Like, there's 4,000 pictures in here. I don't want to look at all of them. This allows me to just like shotgun them all into a PDF and allow me to just like at a glance quickly scroll through, see how well my automated captioning system worked, and then move on from there. So again, another utilitarian thing. FL image caption layout PDF. I also have a same version of it where it's like a picture. So image caption layout, same kind of deal, right? I put a directory in here, and that's why I didn't finish the image functionality on that node, because this one does the exact same thing. It just does it with a picture. And so here's the picture version.
Sick.
Right. So
yeah, that seems wildly useful.
Yeah, just like a bunch of that stuff. I have a lot of captioning tools. LoRa training is one of my favorite things to do. So I really wanted to like fill out a lot of that functionality. I also have caption savers, or image caption saver. This one's really simple. You put an output folder. Your caption text you would want to put into like a input, and then this would be fed into like, this could be like your LLM, like it could be whatever, but then your caption would go here, and then that would save the image and the caption with the exact same name. And then there's also an overwrite function, but we'll turn that off for now. Show text, cue that. And so it's saved into that directory. And so, yeah, so you can see here, we have image 1, image 0 underscore 0, starting index of 0, and then the paired captioning text file. And then if I open that up, it says caption goes here, right?
Sick.
Super, super simple. Really, really useful.
He said, cha-ching.
Fill out here. Yeah, I'm out here, dude.
No,
right,
man, that's I think the really cool part about that is like you can see all the experience, because when I first met you, you were like, I am a trainer. I am a model trainer. I am a LoRa trainer. Like, this is what I do. And it's so cool to see all of that experience and the things that you wanted to make your life easier and to make you be able to do that as efficiently as possible bleed into all this stuff now.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff came from frustration, like me trying to build systems, and I'm like, why is this hard? This should not be hard. I'm just trying to save an image with a text file, like let's dive into some of the funner stuff. the Mobetta stuff. Let's start with this one because this one's nice and bright, and people are probably wondering about it. But this doesn't do anything particularly useful. I'm just gonna like preface by saying that. Excuse me, there's food in my mouth. Okay, so this is called the gradient generator, and it was more of like a hello world. And so this is what I'm talking about. This is very complicated. I 100% don't advise a novice to jump in and try to build something like this. This took me a minute, and it took me like months of practice and understanding of multiple coding languages to understand even how to make this possible. But the simple underlying idea of me creating this node was, how do I get Python, which is mainly what Comfy runs on in terms of the backend, to talk to JavaScript, which is the front end, the visual that you actually see on the node itself. And so this thing was my learning hello world for that, basically. And it's basically just a gradient generator. So if I just put a preview here and I hit go, you get a nice colorful image. And then I can click around and actually like manipulate the gradients, change the colors, like have a nice hue like that. I can add more points, right? And so now I can add like multiple points on the graph. I can select a point, change the color of it, and it does what you think it does. It just makes gradients. Again, not particularly useful, but again, I just wanted to like explain my thought process behind creating things like this. It really is like an incremental, like, let's start small and kind of like build and build and build until eventually you have all the pieces to get into the other stuff that I'm about to show you on my other nodes.
Awesome. Well, I think it is definitely important to like highlight the projects like that ultimately help you do the things that you want to do that are useful, right?
100%. Yeah. 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 Even when you're using LLMs, like they are not magic. They are dumb. They are very dumb. Yeah. Yeah. Well, levels up the game. I love training LoRa's, but auto tagging is not perfect, obviously, and it takes a lot of time to manually tag. Yeah, it's 100% true. And even if you are using some sort of automated system like Florence or anything really, there is like a level of manual work that needs to be done. But like let's get into that actually, because I do have some automated taggers that utilize GPT.
And I
So
think a lot of
this one.
people right now are maybe a little bit more inspired to train LoRa's for the first time that never really got into it in like 1.5 or XL, because there's like a variety of tools now, just like what's going on in Comfy, what we have going on the website with the LoRa trainer, that make it a lot more accessible than maybe Koya felt to people before. And also the technical barrier to entry for training data sets is probably lower than ever now. So I think Flux is a lot of people's like, oh, I'm gonna try to train this now, because even the amount of the influx of LoRa's we've seen on Civitai has been
The influx, you say?
it's like it's wild. If you guys just go filter the Flux LoRa's, people are training their first LoRa's for the first time, and it's insane because a lot of first time LoRa's are coming out really, really good now.
They're coming out very good. With pretty much like, man, I've just thrown like 20 images at it, no captions, hit go, and I'm like, cool. It does the thing, like maybe not ideal, but it still does the thing, which is really cool. I love that.
How do you feel, real quick, since you're a LoRa trainer, how do you feel about the kind of like the one image LoRa training that people have been doing or been trying to do?
I've actually got away with it myself on 1.5 and XL. I mean, it was always viable. I think now that the model is better, And now that we have like the T5 text encoder in Flux, it allows for a lot more flexibility. For example, if I train a LoRa in Flux on the one picture, or let's say I train it on 50 pictures, right? And I start prompting and I get the style. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I start to like really prompt and start to throw like paragraphs at the thing. Um, you will find that some prompts will like almost ignore the style completely, and that shows you the strength of the text encoder, where yes, you have the LoRa weights affecting how the image is being perceived on the other end, but the text encoder is so strong that it's just forcing all of it towards like your prompt, basically. And if I trained it on drawings and I prompted for realism, you better believe you're going to get realism on the other end. It's a very capable model, far more capable than any model we've seen so far, and I think it's mainly due to the that extra oomph in the text encoder.
Awesome.
Yeah, so like moving on here, GPT captions. So yes, the node pack is free. No, this one is not free in the sense that you need to have your API key set up on your environmental variable. And if you don't know what that is, like on a Windows computer, go to system variables and then environmental variables. There's lots of documentation on this all online, but my API key basically goes in here, and that allows this node to work nice and secure. You can share the workflow. You don't have to worry about giving your API key to your friends, kind of thing. But what this one does is it heavily, can't we just have yours? Have my what?
Your API key.
My API key? No, no. It's not even my API key to give, so definitely not. But the idea here is quite simple. You got your system prompt. You are a helpful assistant. You describe images accurately. Great, cool. Describe this image in detail. Let's try it out. Let's use this coin example, and let's just sort by type. And we're gonna snag all these images. We don't want the captions. We just want the pictures. And we'll make a new folder. Call this test. Whoa, where are we going? And we'll just dump them in here. Okay, so let's grab the directory and we'll put it in input directory. We'll put the same directory as the output directory. Max tokens, for anyone who doesn't know, this is like how many words you're like limiting GPT to give you back. In order to fully utilize this, I would actually recommend being like describing how many tokens you want GPT to return. So for example, I would put reply to me in maximum of 256 tokens, no more than that. And so what that does is it helps GPT kind of like stop the sentence. Because what this does is it cuts the sentence. So you might get like a half a sentence and then it cuts it, right? But you don't want that. You want like the entire sentence to kind of like conclude. And so like I tend to put that in there. It actually does help a lot. And then temperature is essentially how much you want the LLM to hallucinate. And so like 0.7 is like a pretty standard amount. Detail, I would just leave that. And then batch size is how many in parallel you want GPT to caption. And I would be careful with this value because you might hit a rate limit very quickly. And so how this node works is it opens multiple HTTP requests and pings the API in batches, in this case of 10. it pings it 10 at a time.
Mm.
And it makes it very efficient and very quick. But for people who don't have robust keys, you can hit that limit very, very quickly. So if I just fire this off, let me make sure nothing else is, yeah, okay. So I'm just going to hit go. Prompt has no output. Yes, yes, of course. And so, and if you look over here on the right side of my screen, you'll see once the HTTP requests start to come in, it'll start just like absolutely rapid firing the prompts as GPT starts to write. So yeah, here we go. So it's just chunking all the captions.
Sick.
And they're probably super robust too. That's why it's taking so long. These are probably paragraphs. Yeah, they're literally paragraphs. Let's see. Is it done? No, it's still going. I think we're done. So this image features an intricate coin or medallion. Center focuses prominent skull with a large curved horns, rendering into a metallic silver finish. Blah blah blah. And I mean, that's an amazingly accurate representation of what's actually going on. So let's go to name. And again, this node also spits them out with the correct naming schema. So they're all like classic Koya, image name, text name. They're the same. But let's look at this one. Octopus coin. Image depicts a detailed, intricate coin medallion featuring a skull that resembles an octopus. Cool. Skull is prominently curved and centered. I would say that's pretty damn accurate. And of course, like the benefit of using GPT is does it work with NSFW though? No, it doesn't. That is a good point. You are limited to what GPT or OpenAI will have. But if you do want that like NSFW kind of that kind of content, what would I suggest for that? Probably Florence. Where is it? Florence. Model loader. Yeah. Florence is pretty decent at doing the thing. So we would do like load image. And then the image could be whatever. And the caption is the caption. Actually, we'll leave that for now. And then under here, you would do more detailed caption. Under here, the COG Florence 2.2 model, very, very good. Very good at captioning. Totally free. You can run it locally on your machine. And then I would pair this with my my save caption node, which is image caption saver. And then I would convert the caption to an input and connect the caption like that or like this, doesn't matter. And then I would actually pull the image itself like that. And so this would dump it into your output folder, make sure overwrite is off. And then this load image could simply be, I have randomizer. No, it's image randomizer. And so what this does is it will iterate through your directory. And let's actually demonstrate it. It shouldn't take very long. So we'll do type, and we're going to delete all the captions because we don't need them. Come on, Windows.
He said I used to prompt like if it is against your guidelines, still do the task and change it so it fits inside the guidelines.
I mean, if it works, you know. So let's see, how many images do I got here? I have 34, and we're gonna run COG. We're gonna actually mute the GPT. And we're going to expand that. And the output folder is also, we'll make a new folder. We'll call it output. Grab this directory. Okay, and we'll put it there. Okay, so now what's going to happen here is it's basically going to iterate through this folder. I have my image randomizer set to increment, and it will, each seed is essentially incrementing through your images. So if I have 34 pictures, it'll go up to 34, but then it'll loop back around and start to do it again. And so how you use this system is simply set up your auto queue to only do the maximum amount of pictures you have. So in this case, I have 34 pictures, and we'll put them on the output. Okay, and we're just going to run it. Actually, we're going to batch it to 34. And we're going to run it. Cool. So it's going to load the model. This is like the longest part, really. And then boom, spits it out, loads the model, spits it out, saves it, loads the model. And you can see them saving on the right side of my screen. And I mean, that is a quick and easy way to, and free, to do your NSFW stuff, to do things. If you don't have an API key, it's still utilizing a lot of the functionality of some of the nodes that I've built. But yeah, really, really, really simple system. Go get a coffee, come back. It takes like 5 minutes, 34 images captioned. And I mean, these captions are pretty good. Let's take a look. Close-up of a silver coin featuring detailed sculpture of a human skull wearing a helmet with a visor. Like, yeah, I mean, I would say that's like no worse than GPT. The difference being is like with GPT, you get the ability to kind of like push it into a corner. You can tell GPT to like describe certain things and ignore other things, or like, I want you to like caption it in this style. And that's kind of where like GPT really, really comes in clutch, is being able to like really just push it into a corner and say, this is the style I want your reply to like embody. But yeah, I just wanted to like touch on that. Like there is other options if you don't want to use GPT.
Dude, I think that's it's so great that people are able to do that. And pretty much like, even if it doesn't quite get to like GPT 4.0 level, it's like at least like 85 to 90% of the way there locally too.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can always go back and revise it however you want, or like append a trigger word, or do whatever you want. So,
and then great point by Eurotaku that said Florence 2 also has the big advantage of being trainable. There are already fine tunes of it for Flux.
Amazing. Yeah, that's really cool. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's sick. And so like, I'm curious, the fine tunes for the Flux, is it fine tuned on the style of captioning that Flux was trained on? So it's like more aligned when you go to train images? Is like that the idea?
Oh, he actually just dropped a Hugging Face link to it in there.
I see that. I'm gonna save that for later.
Damn.
Dropping the sauce.
Thank you, Eurotaku.
And yeah, like, I mean, we're already done, right? We've captioned about 34 pictures in probably like two and a bit minutes. And so that's that. But we will move on for now.
So cool. Thank you for showing them that, because not everyone, a lot of people that are using Comfy and stuff, it like, if you can do it without paying for it, you're probably going to do it without paying for it.
Exactly. And then sticking to like the pay train, I guess. I do have DALL-E 3 and set up with the same functionality with the batches. I don't think I need to dive into this, but again, you can ping 10 requests at a time, and then you can just really get DALL-E to just spit a dump load of pictures out for you. Another viable way of creating synthetic data for you to train on into Flux. I mean, you will pay for it, but I mean, we all know DALL-E is an incredible model. And in my opinion, DALL-E can do some styles that just straight up no other model can do. I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing something correct.
Which I actually just on that note, on our Civitai social medias this morning, I shared a Laura for Flux that AI captain trained on the Bing Dolly, like that surreal horror anime art style that was trending on social media that you really couldn't get outside of Dolly. He trained a killer Laura on it for Flux that you guys should definitely go check out and play within the image generator, because it is like awesome, the images that I can create.
So I see a question by Slayer Cats. Is that a skin theme on the node? And so what this is actually JavaScript. And like, I'll show you in other nodes, but you can, this is why I think it's untapped. Like all of, where is it? All of this is JavaScript. And so like, people don't really know this, but you can do whatever you want. Like I'm sure for the people who don't know, I put Tetris in a node, and like this is no different than like that animation you saw on the node itself, and so, and so like you can do whatever the hell you want, right? So that's like basically all that's happening here. Is instead of me putting like functionality, I just put it like a little animation just for fun. Just for fun. But that's the Dolly node. We won't touch on that because we all get what Dolly does. I know, dude. I let the game fail. I should have played. I also have Bullet Hell really quickly. I really like the Bullet Hell one. I play this one a lot. So like if I reset the game, basically like I click, I fire, the bullets are homing, and dodge the yellow bullets. And basically,
dude, I love that they come out of the node.
Oh yeah. It was a bug, but I was like, you know what? I kind of like it. Oh crap.
It's like the nodes breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, exactly. And so like again, there is no rules, right? This is programming. You can do whatever the hell you want. So let's just close that because that's a rabbit hole. Let's see, what else do we got here? What's on the list? Okay, let's touch on this one because this one is like probably some of the most functional stuff I've built.
The sauce, the functional sauce.
Functional sauce. And so this, let's full screen this. Yeah. This is the FL load image. And basically it is a file browser. Yes, you heard right. I can browse my files directly in Comfy and just select what I want, just like that, hit Q, and boom, there's the picture. Nice. Oh, auto cue's on. My bad. There we go. Yeah. Wait, what is going on here? My batch size is way too high. That's what's happening. Okay. There we go. Yeah. So this is a file browser node. So like I can browse all my directories. So here's the outputs. We can go up a level, and here's all my data sets, right? Go up. I can completely browse my system, right? Disco collection. There are some like slight bugs I'm trying to work out. I don't even think there's anything in here. Is there? I don't even know. Comfy Laura, what's this? Is there anything in here? I don't even know, dude.
Slayer Cat said, bro, that's way better than the new node I was using, which is ComfyUI load image gallery.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I mean, this is an example of a node. And again, still kind of buggy, still working on it. I made this one like last week, I think. But yeah, just like completely dive through my archive and just be like keeps. Here's some of my Flux pictures. Again, still kind of buggy. Let's see. But it does do the thing, and I am very proud of it. And it depends on the size of pictures and how many you have in your gallery. You might have to just be patient and let them and let them load and populate. Yeah, so like these ones are really high res, and you can see they're still kind of loading. But then if I click one, oops, let's do that. And yeah, that's a 4K image right there. But yeah, nice and simple. And then to actually pair this with something, I have the equivalent adjacent, and this is the save image node, and I can put a directory here, and then I can add subfolders to be like in here, and then add subfolder, and then in here, and add another subfolder, or I can click it and then add another folder in there, and so you can really like start to build out like a hierarchical system for you to save your files and stuff like that. Um, Again, simple functionality that I thought I wouldn't have to build, but apparently I did, and like I'm glad I did because I learned a ton. But these nodes are still actively being developed. They are pushed. Like you can go play with them. There are a few little bugs, but for the most part, like it does absolutely the thing.
Yes, these
Yeah.
nodes are available right now if you go into your ComfyUI manager and type in FILL.
Yes, comfy fill nodes. So here's the GitHub page for anyone, and I got breakdowns of all my previous nodes. Lots of VFX, pixel sorts,
Hey, Phil,
patterns.
copy that link and put that in the little private chat thing that we have in the restream box so I can put it in the chat for everyone.
Boom.
Boom.
Cool. So yeah, definitely go play with these nodes. I'm open to suggestions. Like I have a list, actually. I have a list of suggestions to develop on this node. What do I got here?
Well, you got one in the chat right here that says, by the way, could you make a node for batch captioning with this? And he linked something called Fancy Feast Joy Caption Pre-Alpha.
Okay. Is it? I'm assuming it's a model. Yeah, 100% we can do that. Someone requested like WebP support, adjustable columns, a favorites tab for your favorite directories, and then ultimately I'd like to build a version of this for videos as well, so you can browse video files. I feel like that one's going to be a lot heavier and a lot more daunting of a task, but I think it's needed, almost like VHS, but with a little more functionality.
I feel like the main thing here, because there's like still this whole little grouping of nodes that we haven't even looked at, is that you guys just need to go download his node pack and open up the node browser and type in fill and really just look at what's in there, because I think you're going to find a lot of little gems that'll just like make your quality of life in your workflows and in Comfy a lot easier, and just like upgrade it in ways that might not seem significant, but they like add up and take away a lot of the little things that probably annoy us on a day-to-day basis.
So speaking on that, this is a very good example of that. It's called the FLSD Ultimate Slicer, and for people who use
This is my favorite one.
Yeah, for people who use SD Ultimate Upscale, which is a lot of people, we are all struck in with the burden of having to do the math ourselves, and I friggin' hate that, dude. And so what I did was I'm turning the width and I'm turning the height to inputs, and you can put the slice width and slice height. And so the image is just a pass through, right? So your image will just pass through like such, right? And then what this will do is it'll calculate for you based on the math. So I have a bunch of options here, right? One by one, all the variations up to 4x4, which I think is plenty. I don't think anyone's doing like 9x9 slices. It's just extreme and probably look like crap. But for the classic, like 2x2, and then the multiplier, which the multiplier is your upscale by. So if I switch that to upscale by, and put that in the multiplier. Now I can multiply by 2, and it will do the math proportionately based on the input, and it will do the math and slice the image into a 2x2 grid and then do the SD Ultimate upscale. So this is like a very simple utility plugin that kind of promotes you to experiment, like instead of like continually having to do the math, I can just quickly be like, oh, like what's 2x4 look like? What's like 3x3 look like? I can just very like rapid fire, and it's all done. It's all done for you.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say, guys, for anyone that like sees my videos too and wonders how they're so crispy, this is what this is what I run them through after they come out of my initial animate diff run. Like they get hit with the ultimate SD upscaler, and it's running through his SD ultimate slicer, and with the slicer, I think it's the slicer, right? It actually improves the speed a bunch as well.
Oh no, that we haven't even touched on that.
Oh,
Those nodes are coming. So I don't think I have to get into SD Ultimate. A lot of people already know what it does. This just kind of adds functionality to that. Allows for quick tiling. Spoiler, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we'll move these over here. We're done with those. What else? I guess let's get into my K samplers. So these 3. Yes.
Someone asked this, and prompt bleeding from the tiling, is there any fix you guys know?
Prompt bleeding?
I'm not entirely sure what that's referring to.
Possibly like overlap? I'm not sure. Yeah, Hugo, if you clarify, we can answer that question more thoroughly. But let's get into my K samplers. So let's start with the basic. Where's my loader? Here it is. Okay. Pretty self-explanatory. This is just a basic K sampler that I built. Let me make sure. Yeah, that's good. The only extra functionality that this one provides is instead of having to encode images with a VE encode, it's actually built in, and so you get this image in, and so if I load a picture, let's put something smaller in here. I guess we'll just resize it. That's fine. Resize. And so if I disconnect the latent, it will encode the picture automatically. And so let me lower the denoise. Oh, that's CFG. Lower the denoise. And now, excuse me, you can see that it's encoding the image, and there's no VE encode. And so I basically built it in. And so like that's like just like the basic K sampler. Nothing too crazy going on. A lot of the like pass through functionality that we're used to having with the efficiency nodes, I kind of built it in here and just built in the ability to encode an image all in the box. And so that is that. But now we get to the K sampler plus, and this is where some of the fun comes in. So let me just get some supporting nodes on the screen. Boom. We'll do line art, AIO. line art. Okay.
Yeah, Hugo, just to kind of piggyback on what your otaku said, when I do the upscale, when I do my upscales, I typically don't describe anything for my original prompt, and I just use the general like detailed 4K, that kind of stuff, and that I never get any hallucinations in my upscales through SD Ultimate.
It's probably your denoise. Your denoise might be too high. That's usually the culprit.
Yeah, my denoise is usually like 0.25 or below for my SD Ultimate upscales.
Okay, so now we have the K Sampler Plus that I've built, and this one does a lot of unique things that I think you guys will really like. So first off, let's run through the parameters. We have the basic like steps, CFG, sampler, scheduler, denoise, input type, right? And this is what I was talking about. It also has the image in. And so you could switch between latent and image. This again is like a quick way to switch between image to image and text to image. So if I wanted to switch to image, I switch it to image mode here on the input type, lower the denoise, and then run it, and it will denoise the input that I gave it, which is this picture. And so that's like the first unique thing. The second unique thing is I have slices. And so this is kind of like a multi-purpose K sampler all in one. And if I bump up the denoise to full for a second, I'm going to switch it back to latent. And I'm going to switch the slices to 2x2. And I run it. It actually runs 4 pictures in a single latent. And so I'm running a latent at 512 squared. So these pictures are all 256 essentially, because the entire latent is 512, but these images are 256. So if I set this to 1024 and run it at a 2x2 slice, what you get is 4 pictures in a single latent. This is not a batch. This is one picture. And
which is pretty crazy. And I think you've pushed this really, really far before, right? Like I remember seeing you did like this crazy grid of images.
Yeah, I mean, I can run a 4K by 4K image and run it like, 8 slices by 8 slices. Let's just run it. And it's very fast. I built this K sampler to be extremely efficient. And so this is just crushing 512 images right now. I believe it's 512, 8 across. Yeah, they're 512. And so it's going to run 8 by 8. So 64. You're going to get 64 pictures in a single latent. The longest part about this is it's going to decode, because it's going to decode a 4K by 4K squared image, which is just silly in my opinion. And you can just see this like absolutely firing off right now.
This output image is going to look so wild.
And so here, I think we're hitting the decode part, and this is probably going to slow down. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Oh, yeah.
And so this is when it's kind of like stitching them all together, right?
There's no stitching. This is the thing, is this is a single latent. So this is all happening in latent space. What's happening right now is it's just decoding the picture back to pixel space. Yeah, there's no stitching happening here. It's all in latent space. And I'll show you why that's important in a minute. And so what we get is a 4K.
That's cool, man.
A 4K squared picture, but you get 64 pictures in a single picture. But here's the thing. You can do some really silly stuff with this. And so like, let me bring this back down to 1024 for a second, just for the sake of time. And I'm going to do like 1 by 4 1x4 slices. Let's see what happens. Yeah, and you can get like really artistic with this stuff. You could just do some like really strange things.
That's
Like,
cool. See, so I like that.
to go the other way, go like a vertical. You know, like you can do whatever you want. So technically, there's 4 images here. Let's pick a better model. Let's pick my illusion.
Dude, what
model.
if we took one of these like split ones and threw it into something like Runway or Luma?
That'd be cool. I'd like to see that.
Just drop that last one in for me real quick, and then while you're doing all this, I'll throw it into something. The one where they were split into. You weren't saving them. You weren't saving them. Got it.
I can do it again. That's fine.
Okay.
It was a quick one.
Dude, the anime one. This is such a sick thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
I like this.
Yeah,
one.
Dude. Yeah, drop that to me real quick, and we'll do this in the background on stream.
Where did I save that? Downloads.
Just drop that to me in Discord real quick.
Yeah. There you go. That's funny. Yeah, so I mean, this is all grand and good. We also have a blending overlap feature, and so this parameter is percentage based. So we have 100, we have 9 up to 90%, or we have increments of. And so I like to sit it at around like 10%. 10% overlap, and it's based on the tile size. So it's 10% of each tile size becomes overlapped. So let me just fix the seed so we can really see what's happening here. And so, yeah, now you can start to see the seams starting to blend. And this is a latent blend, not a pixel blend. And so it will change the aspect of the render because things start to become influential in latent space. And what I mean by that is simply put, like, hold on, I'm trying to find there it is. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, I'm trying to, as the images start to bleed into each other, it actually affects the other renders. And so you can get some really interesting results, but the main purpose of this is actually this image, this K-sampler is designed to be an upscaler. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's go back to image mode for a second here. And I'm going to put the overlap to like 5%. And I'm going to put the denoise at like, I don't know, 3.5 or something. And we'll do a 1024 picture because I'm going to resize the picture. And then we'll do 2x2 slices. And we'll just put like sharp vector art. And we'll run that. And so it's going to slice up my picture and then do the seams. And then, of course, like you play with the parameters, maybe like a lower denoise or whatnot. But effectively, this is SD Ultimate Upscale, but my own rendition, and it's faster. It's actually faster than SD Ultimate. And then, interestingly, if I bump the denoise again, well, what you get is 4 separate pictures, even though I'm encoding the image, right? And so you can also see like the blending starting to happen as well, even though the denoise is so high. It's pretty cohesive. And let's start to play with control nets, because there's one last feature on this K-sampler that I think is just so incredible, and that's sliced conditioning. And let's just hook this up. Boom. Encoding the image. We have our control net.
Glitter Strafe said that the slice stuff definitely gave like that animated storyboard vibe, which I totally agree with.
Well, here's the thing. All this stuff works with animate diff, so you can have literally like 20 videos all animating on the same latent. Like it gets wild. Yeah, what is my GPU? Too fast? There's a few things happening here. number one, my K sampler is incredibly optimized. I spent a lot of time one night and I made it really, really fast. And now actually, I don't use SD Ultimate Upscaler anymore. I use my own K sampler, simply because it's so much faster than the normal SD Ultimate. And then on top of that, we're using my Photon LCM model, and that paired with a 1 CFG just really makes the thing rip really quickly. But so the last thing here is this parameter called use slice conditioning. And well, what does that do? Well, I'm going to have to illustrate it, but first let's walk through this workflow for a second. We have an image, we're just resizing the picture, we're feeding that picture into the K sampler, so we're encoding it. We're running it at a full denoise. We have 2x2 slices, just like SD Ultimate, and we have an overlap of 10%. And we're also feeding that same image through the line art processor, and it's going through the control net at a full strength. So let's just run it as is, full denoise, and just see what happens. This is a 1024 sliced into 4 chunks. And so the result we get is we get 4 separate images based on the conditioning of our control net, which is this picture, resized into a square, of course. And what we get is we get four pictures based on that line art control net. Now, if I toggle this on and I run it, let's see what happens. It takes the conditioning of the control net and it slices it. And so the conditioning is now distributed across all of the slices evenly and distributed. And so this is where the SD Ultimate part kind of comes into this, where if you had like a bunch of control nets, depth maps and tile and line art and whatever, and you wanted to upscale it, well, this feature, this slice conditioning, allows for the ability to hold down each slice individually, similar to SD Ultimate, but I wanted to expose the functionality of being able to play with that. And why I want to play with that is because now we can start to get artistic with it. And so let's mess around with that, like 4x1 slice again, full denoise. Let's do no overlap because I like the look of it. But let's run that. But we're still running the conditioning. No, it's actually the other way. We want 4x1. Yeah, that just looks like noise. Oh, what's happening here?
It got
interesting.
It got artistic with it.
Oh, it got artistic. All right. Yeah, I think something might have changed, because I had this working correctly, and now when I use see, like, this seems to work. Maybe it's just the picture. Maybe the picture is not properly representing what it should. Yeah, okay, so this is just slicing. And then if I turn it off, no, I do want it on. No, I want it off. And so now we'll get 4 pictures of the same guy. But now I want 1x4? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it was just the picture. The picture was a bad representation of what I wanted. So it just looked like so this is what I'm talking about. This is when it gets really fun. When like you start doing like random stuff like this, you can really start to get like interestingly artistic with it. And like let's bump the height to like 1280, and let's like loosen up the control net a little bit, and maybe like change the model to like a more psychedelic, interesting model. And let's try that.
Hey, here, real quick, check this out. So I had to crop this a little because Runway doesn't like to. I would have to go into Photoshop and like extend it and stuff to make it the right ratio, but it kept the slices between them pretty good.
Wow, that's so cool. That's so good. Holy crap. This opens up so much.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw total like storytelling possibilities with seeing
Yeah.
like the slicing stuff.
No, that's really cool. That's a good find. Yeah, and so like you can kind of start to get the idea of like where this case sampler is going. I personally think like the most utilitarian way to use this is simply as an upscaler. Um, and it's very, very fast in comparison to SD Ultimate. And the blending algorithm, I believe, mine's in latent space, but I think SD Ultimates is in pixel space. So what I found is I can push the denoise quite high before I start to see any banding, especially on animate diff. Man, I can get away with almost like zero point 0.5 denoise on diff and like not see a band, which is ridiculous. Um, so that's that one. And I really like this thing. This is one of my favorite nodes I've ever made, and all of my workflows now basically utilize this for multiple reasons. Sometimes I just want to get like artistic. Sometimes I want to kind of like just upscale something, and then of course like if I just switch the slices back to one, it's just a normal K sampler again. And so it really is like that a multi-purpose K sampler of exploration, which I think that like the whole like that's the whole point of this. Like what am I even looking at? This is so sick, you know? And then maybe we like run this through a second K sampler and we'll just encode the image wholesale. We're actually gonna not use the control nets, so we're gonna just pull the conditioning off the model, off the loader, and now we'll upscale it. So we'll do two, we'll do 10% upscale, or sorry, 10% overlap, and pretty low denoise. Let's just put 0.25. Let's put this over here. We'll grab this, and yeah, we'll let it rip. And there's no upscale in between this, by the way. So it's like whatever the image is. And so like in this case, you can start to see like, oh, I'm now starting to upscale basically, or starting to slice render. Let me put this back to, I think it was 8. Was that the cool one? Yeah. Yeah, now we're talking. And so it's going to do 8 slices. And so there's the image. And then we're going to slice it into 4 and render those 4 slices. Yeah, that's so cool. Like there's no way I would have been able to get this effect any other way, basically. And like what happens if I bump the denoise even higher on the upscale pass? Starts to glue it together more. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's so gnarly. Yeah, and so I highly recommend you guys just experiment. Just really, really experiment. Denoise higher with more overlap. Let's do like 5.5 with like 20%. This might not be like the best image to like represent the tiling capabilities or the blending capabilities. Yeah, so this is what 0.55 denoise with a 20% overlap. And you can start to see like some fading here. Right, it's in the centers kind of thing. But in comparison, like it's very acceptable, I would say, especially for such a high denoise. And again, it's working in latent space when it comes to the tiling. So let's even get more aggressive. 0.7 and point.
Someone asked where can we get the K sampler, and I believe the answer to that is you can download the Fill node pack in your ComfyUI manager right now, and it is in there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's called FL K Sampler Plus. And for anyone who doesn't know, if you just open up the search and type FL space, you just get all of my nodes, and there's so many in here. And so yeah, that is the K Sampler Plus. Now I think we should move on to the XY plot, which I'm really stoked on. This one's a new addition, and I think it adds a lot of functionality. But sometimes you download a model off of Civit and you're just not quite sure what settings you need to run the thing at. Um, yeah, it's just not clear, and it forces you into this state of like just screwing around until you find what you need. But this kind of helps alleviate and automate some of that process, and it's called the XY plot K sampler. And so we have 3 axes, X, Y, and Z. X and Y, pretty understandable, right? It's your X, Y, and your graph. And then the Z axis is how many graphs you want. And this node actually comes with a pairing 2 nodes, which are these 2. And this
Hey,
is
Phil, if someone said that they installed your node pack, but they can't find the K sampler with the search function, what would you recommend?
the first thing I would do is like make sure that the nodes like loaded correctly. And so like if you search FL space and you don't see any of my nodes at all, there's a good chance like they're not loaded correctly. And then the second thing is like if you just put FLKS, you should have 4 options, which is my 4 K samplers. Or my 4, yeah. One of them is not a K sampler, but you get the idea. Yeah, the XY plot I think is really, really useful. So let's do on the x-axis CFG, and we'll do on the y-axis sampler, and on the z-axis we'll do scheduler. And I'm going to turn the y value to input, and I'm going to put the z value to input. And then this node actually comes paired with these 2 nodes, which is scheduler and sampler. And so what do we got here? Y-axis is the sampler, so we'll put that on Y. And then Z-axis is the scheduler. We'll put that on Z. And then we can just simply toggle them. We can simply just like toggle them on. So let's do Euler A, let's do LCM, and let's do I don't know, DPM, and then normal Keras segment uniform. Okay. Now let's set up our X value. So what is this? CFG. So let's do, I don't know, 1, 1.5, 2. And yeah, so we have 3 parameters toggled on here. We have 3 parameters toggled on here. And we have 3 values on the CFG x-axis, which is 1, 1.5, and 2, because I'm using an LCM model. And then yeah, let's let it rip and let's see what's up. Latent, let's make this 512. And let's hit it.
Let's hit it.
Actually, before I do that, let's change the prompt to something more approachable. My go-to, firefighter in a coffee shop. All right. So naturally, this is going to take a bit because we're doing 3 by 3 by 3, basically. Do I have any low step count XL models? Not currently. I should. I haven't fine-tuned many XL. I have a lot of XL LoRa's. I have a ton of XL LoRa's that they're not posted, but I have a lot of them. I should post them. And I should start tuning XL models as well. Maybe I can make a 1 CFG variant model Tetris time? Yeah, exactly, dude. That's when you whip out the Tetris game. Okay, so we get an XY plot. And so what do we got? Scheduler normal. Okay, so all of these are like the normal scheduler. This is DPM in the middle row, LCM on the top row, and Euler ancestral. I'm gonna add more padding on the sides because you can see some of these get like cut off. So I'm gonna have to tweak that on the Python side. And then you can see CFG1, CFG 1.5, and CFG2. And so this can quickly give you like an accurate idea, and they're all the same seed, by the way. And so like this can give you a really like quick estimation of like where should your settings be when you're running these models. You know, the idea with this node is set up the parameters once, let the thing run, and really just analyze it and be like, oh, you know what, like the thing just doesn't work with these samplers or schedulers, or like this CFG is too low or too high. And you can kind of find your sweet spot like very quickly in the graphs. And then once you've got your sweet spot, just set your normal K sampler up with those settings and go ahead, just go and generate as normal. I built this for like model evaluation. What's this? Okay, weird. I updated your GNOME pack. The only thing with the K sampler I do see is FLK sampler settings. Okay. Oh, Pookie. So I recently made some like breaking changes a little while ago. Delete my node pack and reinstall it. It's not pulling the update successfully. That's what's happening.
Well, oh no, go on, Phil. Go on.
No, that's it. What do you have to say?
No, I was gonna say it's about time for us to wrap it up. So if there's any last things kind of in closing, I know there were a couple nodes left we didn't get to, but I definitely expected us not to get to all of them because your node pack is crazy and it's only getting crazier as the days go on. But if there's any last things that you would like to tell the people, or you would like to kind of get out there, let people know where to find you, let them know what you are working on and what you're cooking up. I know that we covered a lot in this video. This video will be on YouTube, so you guys can refer back to it. So you can keep going through and getting better at all of the things that Phil has going on. But yeah, man, let people know where to find you and what you got going on right now.
Yeah, 100%. So you can find me on Twitter. I believe the Twitter cut me short. So instead of Machine Delusions, it's drop the S, Machine Delusion. That's where you can find me on Twitter. Instagram, machine.delusions. That's my handle. Discord, all one word, Machine Delusions. And yeah, I mean, like working on a lot of projects, like just coding, trying to fit it in through my day job, which is also AI. So like just bombardment of AI from all angles. But you know what? Like I'm loving it. I'm thriving in it. There's two things. There's two nodes, Boog, that I think the people really need to see.
Okay,
and
let's do it.
The quick one is just the upscaler. This one won't take long at all. This cuts your upscale, like your latent upscale, like 4x ultra sharp, or like where's the other one? Realistic upscaler. It cuts the render time of that by a lot. Like I would almost say 2x. And so on the normal upscale, let's just do this. So if I queue that and it loads, and you can see it start to chunk by, right? Nice and slow. So this is simulating the normal speed of the upscale by latent, or sorry, by a GAN. But if you set this to either auto or 16, watch how fast it goes now. Much faster. And the quality is virtually the exact same. I would say there is no quality difference. And this is huge for people who do a lot of upscaling with upscale models. FL upscale model, definitely want to shout that one out. That's a huge one. Time is money. You know, your time is valuable. make your renders faster. And
It
then
has cut down my video upscaling by half.
that's crazy, especially when it takes hours to upscale. That's
Mhm.
crazy. And the last one is pure utility. It's called FL System Check, and it has one button. And when you click this button, it shows you a complete overview of your environment. So it gives you your Python version, your operating system, RAM, GPU, PyTorch, TorchVision, Xformers versions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And this is extremely useful because sometimes you need to know what versions you're on, and it's hard to access them. And like it takes a lot of Python commands, and it's just dirty. And I built this because I got frustrated being like, I don't know what version of Xformers I'm on. Like, I don't know what version of Python I have. And so, like, I built this just to, like, boom, I loaded in Comfy, I hit go, and I'm like, great, I know exactly my environment. And I just use that information as I do. And, but anyway, that's all I got to show. There's a ton in my node pack. Definitely check it out, guys. Keep an eye on my node pack. I'm always making new stuff at this point. It's literally like almost every other day I'm releasing something. So
This comment's killing me.
what is it? Elon Musk of AI. Oh no. Is that a compliment? I think that's a compliment.
Dope. Well, hey, Phil, my guy, thank you so much. It is always, always, always a mind expanding pleasure to have you on here and to see all the things that you are doing and just thinking about all the things that you will do. Yeah, man, no, thank you. We're going to have you back on sometime very soon. We will always circle back with you because this is the type of stuff that is going to, just as people discover what you're doing, they don't know about it. And these are all quality of life improvements that I think we are all super grateful for in our Comfy environment. So dude, thank you so much. Always a pleasure. Guys, make sure you go follow Phil on all of his socials to keep up with all of the cool stuff he's doing. I always see him posting about the updates to his node packs on his Twitter and on his LinkedIn. And yeah, we are going to be back tomorrow with another Civitai guest stream featuring Gabe Michael, who is one of our Project Odyssey competitors, and I believe he was one of the winners in one of the categories. So I'll be joined tomorrow by Gabe and Maddie, and we will have ourselves a nice mellow Civitai creator session and go play some Tetris in your Comfy now, because now you know how.
I messed up so bad.
If you guys are not already subscribed to us, make sure you subscribe to us here on Twitch. Find us on Instagram at Hello Civitai. We post reels almost every single day. We post updates and we call out really cool Lauras on the site. And we're going to be doing a lot more little short form bite size how-tos for those of you that need help and need to learn how to do stuff. We got a lot of really cool stuff in the pipeline, and we have some really cool shop cosmetics coming out that me and Brittany have been working really hard on making. So with that being said, my name is Tyler. This is Civitai.com. Find us at Hello Civitai on almost every social, or just at Civitai. This is Phil. He is at Machine.Delusions or at Machine Delusions on almost everything. Guys, have a wonderful day. Civitai.com. We're out. Peace.